Cam.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
I like your headband. That's cute.
I appreciate it. I'm trying to get some more. I only got like 5, so I'm ordering some more right now.
It's cute. I like it. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I like your top, by the way. I'm really digging
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, everybody's hopping on. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Today is National Sons Day, and you are a son.
I am.
You are a son. Cam, what does being a son mean to you?
What does being a son mean to me? It means working hard enough to buy my mom a house one day.
You better talk.
You know what I mean? And that's been the goal for a while. And it's funny because I talked to my older brother about it because I was like, as a fellow, so yo, my dad's here. I'm not gonna say who he is, but what's up, Pop?
Oh, hey, Pop, what's up?
That's so funny. But yeah, I was talking to my older brother about it not too long ago, and we were just saying one day we might want to go half and half on it. Because what better dream than to get your folks the house of their dreams. And also both of my parents are from the South, and my dad was in the military for many years, so he got to tour the world and be on the boat all over the place. Where my mom, she's never left the country before, so being a son means achieving your parents' dreams with them / for them. And if my mom wants to go to Canada one day, I want to be able to fly her up here whenever I want. And same goes for my pops. Whenever he's retired, which is hopefully soon, I just want to give him whatever he wants because they gave me a very fulfilled and happy life. So I think as a son, it's my job now to give them a very fulfilling rest of their lives.
I know Pops is crying. I'm about to shed a tear. That was good, Cam. I love that. I love that. You're a good son. I know that they're proud of you. Speaking of being a son, what was it like for you growing up? You wanted to be in the Navy. You thought that you would go the Navy route. Is that right? But what were your career aspirations growing up? What was little Cam like?
That's so funny that you're doing the research. Yeah, I did. I did want to go to the Navy. It's funny. So my dad was in the Navy. My older brother was in the Navy. So, of course, I was like, I'm
Navy
not
it is.
And I think what's funny about the military is that the only thing that interested me was obstacle courses. I love high intensity exercises. Like I don't really like to work out like that, but if you're gonna go climb that wall and flip, and I was like, oh yeah, totally, like that kind of stuff. Heck yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny because my career aspirations would change all the time. A lot of it was what my dad did. He was a mailman for a bit, and I was like, I want to be a mailman. And then from there, I would see that his job was just simply like going around town and giving people their mail. And he was telling stories about how, some of the people would leave Gatorades in the mailboxes for him because like they were really happy that they get mail from him. And then that put in my brain, making people happy makes people happy. So that kind of got my brain of like, I want to help people. So I wanted to be a firefighter for a long time because that was like a superhero to me. It's like they help people. They make people happy. They protect people from fire. So firefighter was a thing for a bit, like many years. And then chef came out of nowhere. I was like, food makes people happy. Food makes me happy. But then my family never freaking taught me how to cook, Dad.
Wow.
So I went into military for a bit. And then after being in ROTC for 2 years in high school, I realized it wasn't for me. So my mom gave me the idea to try acting. And I fell in love with it pretty much instantly.
Wow. So your mom was behind the idea to go into acting. So talk to us about what was your first, what was it? Like, was it a commercial? What was your first, movie, show? What was your first, big acting opportunity?
Like in professional acting?
Yeah.
Well, technically my first, but before the union and everything, technically.
Yes, the very first, not Luke Cage.
Okay, so not Luke Cage. Okay. Not Luke Cage. So then I'm trying to think if there's anything before that. No.
No commercials?
I mean,
what did you doing?
I'm going down to memory lane right now. So the very first thing I did, like in New York, was a really bad play. It was a twist on A Christmas Carol, but it was like a black twist. So everybody had different names, and everybody was like kind of stereotypical. It was kind of crazy. But then like my first like job as an actor was what do you call it? A reenactment, like one of those TV reenactments.
Yeah.
And it
Oh
was, yeah, I did a reenactment called Bad Teachers, and the show was about teachers hooking up with their students, and I was the student. So that was funny enough. Like that was the first time I was ever on TV, and my granny was super odd about like becoming an actor, and she's like, you should go to college, you should become a doctor or something. And she saw me in Bad Teachers of all things, and she was like, you're gonna be a star. That's it.
It just takes that one time for them
That
to
one
see,
thing.
and they're like, okay, I'm sold. I'm sold. I love it. I love it. Cam, talk to us a little bit about, so you told us your first, job. What struggles did you face in your journey to becoming, the star on CW's Batwoman now? What struggles did you face along your journey in becoming an actor?
How long do you got? I guess
we have time, honey.
We got time. Look, I mean, for all the future actors out there, what's up, John Lee, my man? Good to see you, my man. And Miss Johnson, hello. Welcome. Sorry. So becoming an actor, there were very, very many struggles for me. And I actually really like to talk about it because I feel like a lot of people see that I'm on TV now and they assume that it was sort of like a jump from A to B because I'm fairly young. And it very much was not that. So I moved to New York right out of high school. So I moved to New York, and the only reason I was able to was because my great aunt was living in Queens. So we didn't really know each other. We knew of each other, and we had just met maybe 2 weeks prior for the first time since I was 7 or so, maybe 10, because she came down for my grandpa's funeral. And I was like, yo, Dad said that I'm about to be moving in with you. And she was like, oh, that's you. Cool. And the first struggle was that, like, I lived with this family member that I didn't really know, that didn't really know me. We didn't vibe well. She didn't feed me. So my first 3 months in New York, I only ate soup and crackers.
Oh,
And
Lord.
yeah, and then like that first year was just like I got a job, and I was just I didn't know how. So then it was really just trial and error. It was me trying to figure out how to get auditions, how to get in the room, how to be seen. The whole thing was me figuring it out. And I had one friend from Georgia. His name was Craig Wells, who was, I want to say, 50 at the time, one of my best friends. And he just gave me the ropes of like, this is what a headshot is. This is how you get a headshot. These are websites to submit for auditions. Like I did background work for 3 years. And, I didn't really have like good meals for the first 3 or 4 years in New York. It was dollar pizza and oatmeal and cereal and ramen. It was like whatever I could, because I didn't have any money. Like I lived check to check. I would, survive off of background work and catering jobs, and I do odd jobs. And I was one of the guys in New York that would push, what do you call them? The coupons on the street.
Oh,
I did that. Like it was all like, is it paying? Okay, great. Yeah, because as an actor, I had to say yes to everything. So I was like, oh, a short film that can't pay, cool, fine. I'll make time and I'll just find work elsewhere. And it was do whatever I can to survive. Mm-hmm. And my parents were very supportive and very loving, but I was like, hey, yo, send me money. And they were like, no. So I was constantly like, okay, bet. And I just figure out how to survive. Right. And my dad helped every now and then, but he was also the parent that like it was his idea to go to New York, but he also was like, hey yo, you can come home
anytime.
You know what I mean?
Don't have to be eating oatmeal and pizza.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean is like he was so supportive, but I also could not be like, I need money, because eventually he'd say, you know what, come home.
Right.
So I just had to struggle. And then on top of that, a whole other story that we won't get into today, my great aunt, I became her caretaker for 3 years. So I was taking care of her, bathing her and feeding her and all that stuff, while also starting my acting career, while also making money to survive. So it was a whole thing,
wow,
Cam. It was a lot. And, there's stories in those 7 years in New York that I love to talk about, and I plan to make a film about one day. I'm actually making a short film about a moment of that time right now. But yeah, anyway, that's my somewhat short version of my very long answer. Many
wow. So I have a few questions for that.
Yeah,
what
please.
sustained you during that time? What kept you from going back home? Because you know, some people would hear this or would be in your situation. You know, I've been there myself. I've struggled, you know, to get to where it is that I'm trying to get to. But I want to know what sustained you and what kept you from retreating and going back to the comfort of home.
That's a really good question. When I was in Georgia still, before moving to New York, I went to this workshop with some random guy from New York. And, you know, coming from a small town in Georgia, when a guy says he came from New York, I'm like, New York? You know, like, wow. So I went to take his workshop, and one of the only thing that I remember from the entire workshop to this day is that he said, if you want to be an actor, you cannot have a plan B. That I went to New York with a plan A to, I forgot what he did, be a director or be an acting coach or whatever it was. I had no plan B, because if you have a plan B, and I feel like we've all heard versions of this now, but if you have a plan B, you have something to fall back on. Right. So if things get hard, that plan B is going to start looking real nice. But for me, there was no plan B. It was either succeed or disappoint myself and my family, sort of thing, disappoint my friends. But like, bigger than that, you know, there's always that I have to succeed because I believe in myself and I have no other options. And there's also that thing of what Will Smith said that one time. He said if he's running on a treadmill and someone's running beside him, he won't be the first one to stop. He'll keep running, dies. And so there's all that mentality of I'm forced to keep running until I die, no matter what. But really, to answer your question, the reason that I kept pushing is because of a really great support system. I was so lucky to have so many friends and such a huge family in Georgia that there were so many days that I'd just be sitting on my bed depressed, like I could have been a lawyer, you know?
Right.
Days where I was like, I could have done all of these things and I still can. And then almost as if God was like, yo, I got you. I get a message or I get a call from someone saying, yo, I love you. I hope you're doing well. I'm proud of you. You're killing it. I can't believe you moved to New York on a whim to chase your dreams. Wherever you're going to make it. And like, I would get those messages at the perfect time every single time. And it would just help me like, okay, yeah, you're right. You know, I did do this. I made a commitment and I'm going to make you proud. I'm now forced to make you proud. And that's what kept me going.
Kim, that's so good. That's so beautiful that you say that, because won't God do it? Won't he send you a message when you feeling like you about to like go over the hump and God is like, wait, hold up, I got you. I got something coming for you.
Amen. It's not belief, yo. It's belief. It's, you know, if you believe in yourself and you believe in, and I don't want to like preach to everyone here, you know, I'll leave preaching to my grandma who's actually a pastor, but I do believe in faith. I do believe in, you know, me saying, I trust in you, you trust in me, things are going to get hard. Just keep me going, keep me alive. Like, I don't have to be a famous actor right now. You know, I just moved to New York 4, 5, 6 years ago. Just keep me fed.
Right.
Just the roof over my head and I'll figure out the rest. And he did.
Wow. That's amazing. I hope you guys, that's beautiful. That touched me. Cam, what advice would you share with the viewers that are watching now who are in the thick of it? You know, they are waiting for their sign and maybe you're it to tell them, you know, to keep going. What advice would you give to those who are watching that are in the thick of it and they're pursuing a career in acting, or they're wanting to pursue a career in acting, or you know what, maybe they're wanting to pursue whatever it is that they're wanting to pursue, and they just need that push to keep going? What advice would you give them?
I like this question because I get this question a lot, and every time I get it, I always think I'm going to get the same answer, but I feel like I never do, which is nice. And I feel like the reason for that is because advice for your future changes per day, changes per day. So right now, what I'm feeling is advice for you to push toward your dreams. Don't expect help. Be afraid to ask for it. I feel like a lot of people think, especially in this example would be for acting. I think a lot of people expect that, you know, everyone says it's about your connections. It's about, you know, the people that you know. Kind of. But not really. Like, you know, I didn't move to New York knowing a producer. I didn't move to New York knowing anyone. Like my friend Craig that I said helped me along the way.
Right.
He was a retired teacher from my hometown. He wasn't some famous actor. He was just a guy doing background work just like me, you know? Right. So I had to go figure it out myself. But along the way, I was never afraid to ask for help. Like, do you know how to do this? Do you know who to email? Do you know who to call? But like, some people will not help you, and that's okay. Don't expect people to help you, but don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's so many moments where I said, I need your help, and they said, cool, yes. And even putting me an inch further is an inch further that I was not at before, you know? So there's that. I was going to say something. Oh, yeah. The other thing that is probably even most important is you have to be your number one fan. That's what my biggest advice is, that you have to be your own cheerleader. And that is the answer that I always give, because along the way, even when I was getting support from my friends and my family, and they were pushing me forward and inspiring me, at the end of the day,
you preaching like grandma though. You preaching, Cam. Come on now. Come on. At the end of the day,
they're not there through the thick of it. They're not seeing all of it, and they never will. There's no way for anyone to experience all the things that you've been through and all the things that you're feeling but yourself. So you are forced to remind yourself that you deserve to be where you are, and you deserve to get the things that you want, because nobody can make you inspired to get what you want as much as you can. And that's hard. I know that's hard for some people, because some people don't have that sort of self-esteem and that sort of confidence. But I will say that I didn't have confidence for my first 5 years in New York. Yeah, first 5 years, but I faked it real well, so no one knew. You know, they thought I was confident because I came into the room as if I knew what I wanted, while all along I was like, I came in here knowing what I wanted. Don't judge me. I hope everyone looking at me. You know? So I had to go home and reassess and be like, was that dumb? Was that stupid? Oh, maybe I should start being an actor. You know what? No, you deserve this, because in that moment, no one was in that room but me. No one's going to tell me that I'm okay and that I deserve this but me. So all that to say, be your biggest fan, and also be your biggest critic, but be your biggest fan first.
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to replay this for myself, honey, because you dropping nothing but gems.
I appreciate you. It's funny, my grandma asked me one day.
That's good, you guys. I hope y'all are taking notes. This is a good one. This is a good one. So, Kim, your first big TV role was in Marvel's Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that experience, and how did it prepare you for what was to come?
Ooh, great question. So, yeah, Luke Cage is my first real TV job. And I remember when I got the call, I was at my friend Isaiah's house, and I fell on my knees and started crying when I got the part. I was just so relieved after 4 years of like struggling and grinding. I finally got my first TV job. I learned a lot from that job. I learned a ton from that job, starting with I got to set, and I was so blessed to have Luke Cage be my first, because they were just black faces everywhere. Whole cast, black. Crew, black. Director, black. I was like, this is crazy.
Wow.
You know? And that was really good for me. That was really important for me, because I realized, okay, cool, there is a place for me in Hollywood. There's a place for me, because look at all these roles that got cast. So in knowing that, and knowing that I only have like 2 lines in this, I now see what it looks like to be a lead. Right. So I know that I can get there. So that was really cool. It kind of like, it proved to me that it was real. So Frankie Faison is such an incredible actor. He played Pops in that show. And, okay, so basically when you have to move on camera, there's a thing called a mark. And when you walk to it, you have to stop on it. Because if you do, the camera will stay in focus.
Right.
If you stop too early, if you stop too far, the camera will miss you. I'm a youngin', right? So I don't want to mess up.
Right.
I walk and I look down every time to make sure I don't miss it. But on camera, this is what you see.
Oh.
So the director kept being like, hey, yo, like, stop looking down. And I was like, I'm not looking down. I'm not looking down. He was like, I'm watching the camera. Yes, you are. So I kept messing it up. I could not get it right. And then Frankie came up to me, and I love the man. He was so cool to me. But in this moment, he said, I think it was the day that I had lines for the first time, because I had like a lot of like non-speaking days first. And he said something like, all right. He was like, look at you, man, finally speaking today. He was like, you're here with, with me, with some legends, some really cool actors. Don't mess it up. And he walked away. And I was like, ha ha.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was so serious. He was like, don't mess it up. You got one shot. So good luck. And that was it.
Pressure.
So I had all this pressure, and I kept messing it up and messing it up and messing it up. But in that moment, I realized even the people that support you, they're going to be hard on you. They're going to be like, listen,
Right.
you're here, so do the thing that you came here to do. And if you don't do it, you can leave, you know? And that was
Wow.
cool. That was like kind of brutal, but like I needed to hear that because once I watched that episode, I only had like 2 lines, but I was still not happy with my performance, which is good because I was like, the next job I take, I'm going to make sure that I freaking crush it. And I did. And the next job I did was the OA. And like, I was like, I need to make sure that I prove to people that I deserve to be here. And I really feel like I did. So yeah, I learned a lot from that job. I learned not to look down, and I learned to keep your head up.
You did the OA. I loved you in that. Also, the son is also a star. There's Johnny and so many more. But we absolutely love you in CW's Batwoman as Luke Fox. Talk to us about how did this. Okay, so I know the gist. You get the call from the agent or the manager. Is this what happened with this role? Talk to us about the audition process. I need to know how you became to be a part of this show. I absolutely love you in this role. You crush it and you kill it. So you did use what you learned from Marvel's Luke Cage for this because you kill it. Absolutely. You're perfect in this. Perfect.
That means so much. Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
So I'll try to keep the long story as short as I can. I got the audition. I got told about the audition in December 2018. I went in for it in January. And I want to say after I went in for it in New York for Warner Brothers, I got the screen test, the big callback, like a week and a half later. So they flew me to LA, put me in a hotel, and I ran into Nicole Kang at the hotel, who I had known for maybe a year or 2 before then. So we actually ran lines together in the hotel. Like I went to her room and I was like, well, how are you going to play Mary? And it was not what I expected. I was like, wow, high energy. I was like, okay.
Wow.
So we went into the screen test the next day, and it was for Warner Brothers. It was in front of, I want to say 10 people, 10 people. And that was an interesting day. It basically, like, you got to see who all your competition was and hang with them for like an hour or something. So it was me against 3 other guys for Luke, Nicole against 2 other people for Mary, and it was Meagan against 2 other people for Sophie. And it was kind of just all of us chopping it up, and me and Nicole were just like, we were very loose because we knew each other, we were comfortable, we were cracking jokes. So we were told that when we go into the room, it's going to be kind of cold. You go in there, you do your thing, you leave. But in there, they were so warm and bubbly. We're like, Camrus, you know? And I made sure to do my research to know who everyone was in the room. Actually, I don't know how many interviews I've actually said this part of the story to, but
It was an exclusive, Kim.
Yeah, it's exclusive, y'all. I researched every name in the room, and I memorized everyone's faces and everyone's names. And one of the faces was Peter Roth, the Warner Brothers president. So when I was in the room, I was like, hey, everyone, you know, I'm Camrus, blah, 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 blah. I saw Peter, and I just like improv the joke and went, oh, Mr. President.
No, you
And
didn't.
he was like, and they all kind of busted out loud, and I was like, sir, wow, I didn't expect you to be here. So that was fun. And then, so I got the call back, which was the next day, I believe.
Wow.
That was for CW. And CW was in like a black box theater almost in front of 14 people. And I kind of repeated the same joke because I then memorized the CW president and all of his people. And I saw both and was like, wow, 2 presidents in one room. So yeah, that was cool. It was just 2 scenes, 1 2-page comedy, 1 2-page drama. And I just kind of kept it pretty natural. I know CW has like a lot of like natural voices, like a lot of the actors feel like themselves on camera. So I tried to bring a lot of myself into Luke. And it was funny because when I got the audition, the name of the character was Landon. So I was like, I don't want to be some like random nerd, but you know,
Landon.
you know. But then after I got the call back, my manager said the fans of the show have been looking into like these characters, and they think that Landon is Luke Fox. And I was like, oh, word? Yeah, I need to book this then. So yeah, I went to LA, and I think the day that I had that second call back, I got a call that I booked it. And then when me and Nicole were on the plane on the way back home, when we landed, it was already announced. So like our phones are blowing up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's insane. Wait, shout out to you for being yourself. and telling a joke, but also shout out to you for doing your research and knowing who everybody is that was going to be in the room, because you came prepared. And I think that that's also a testament to why you booked the role and why we get to see you and enjoy you every week on the CW. Talk to us a little bit about your character, Luke Fox. I absolutely love him. Talk to people who are unfamiliar. I don't know why they would be unfamiliar, but the people that have not watched, tell us a little bit about your character.
Yeah, so Luke Fox is the son of the legendary Batman character Lucius Fox, who works for Bruce Wayne and Batman. And basically, Luke is the guy that helps create all the gadgets, the suit, you know, all the fun things that we get to use. What's up, Haley? Welcome, welcome.
They're in here. They love the fans for the Arrowverse are insane, by the way.
Halo from Riverdale is just the homie. So Luke Fox is like very much the tech guy, and he's also like the hectic protector of the Batman legacy. So the thing about Luke that I really enjoy playing is the fact that he is very comedic, even when he does not mean to be. And the reason for that is because he wants everything so safe. He wants the city to be safe. He wants the Batman legacy to be safe. He is all about protection. So basically, his character is, oh my gosh, sorry, everyone is in here right now.
Yo, talk to your people.
Jimmy Love, what's up, Diddy boy?
Everybody loves you, Cam.
Yo, Jimmy Palmiani's in here, and he's the creator of the Luke Fox character in the comic.
Shout out, Jimmy.
Shout out to Jim. But anyway, I'm sorry, I got us distracted.
We have time.
That is Luke Fox. Luke Fox is the main supporter and teammate of Batwoman, because he makes sure that when she's in the field, he is her tech support.
Right. I love it. And season 2, right? We're in the middle of season 2. It started with some changes, right?
Yeah.
With the casting news of the new Batwoman, which was Javicia. Talk to us about what you thought when you heard that casting news, and you all get a personal call. How did you all know that was already in the cast that you guys were getting a new Batwoman, and she happened to be a beautiful Black woman?
Yeah, I didn't know that Javicia was getting cast until soon before the world knew, and that's kind of what usually happens. Is it's kind of like I think most superhero projects, of things are pretty hush hush. So we didn't know until very soon before. And can I tell you how hyped I got?
Man, we were all hyped.
Oh my God!
I was like, yes.
What? In this world of Hollywood that we've been so prone to getting used to, is that like, oh, of course you're going to recast her as a white woman, because that's what you do. Like, you never take a chance on a person of color, because they always say like, oh, we're going to open it up to everyone, you know. And I'm like, you always think like, sure, like, you know,
we'll be waiting.
When Jay got cast, we were all like, yeah, like that's actually an actual huge step forward. Like, you know, it was oh my gosh, it just takes me back to that moment where I just got so excited. And my first thing was I was hitting up our mutual friends to say like, yo, is she dope? Like, is she cool? What's up? like what should I expect?
Right.
And everyone was, you know, that thing where when a Black person tells you about their friend,
yeah,
you say, yo, hey, you look after her, like look after my sis.
Right.
That's what everybody was saying, which was such a good feeling, because they weren't saying like, yeah, like they were saying, hey, yo, you watch out for her, like you look out for my dog. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, I got it.
I like that. Yeah, I was so excited. It's both for the show and just for society in general. It does so much for us. It adds this entire different element, this new narrative that we need.
Right.
And as you can see in this season, we're talking about, you know, things that are seminal to Black experience. Like there's that one episode with the Candy Lady where Javicia, when Ryan was a kid, and no one was looking for her really, except for her one friend, as opposed to Beth. Everyone in the city was looking for her, and like that, little things like that, where like Black people have just been overlooked. We talk about that. We can really dive into that. And what's really cool, and I don't know if it's going to become part of the story, but the fact that Ryan's character, Megan's character, Javicia's character, Megan's character, and my character all come from 3 different worlds completely. Financially, everything. The backgrounds are so different. So the fact that we have all these different types of Black people in one world is incredible.
I love it. And speaking of the 3 of you, the cast is diverse. The Batwoman cast is diverse. How does this show reflect representation on screen?
I mean, in the best way, you know. We
Hmm.
now have 3 Black leads. We now have an Asian lead, and as we bring in more guest stars, every now and then they start to bring in more people of color, which is incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it helps. It really paints a picture for the world that says, hey, heroes look like everybody. Heroes
Right.
come all shapes and sizes, all sexes and all races. And we've gotten so at least we were getting so used to just seeing the people that save people and save the world are all white. And that ingrains something in you when you don't realize, like, when you think of a superhero, the first thing you think of is that superhero that you watched on TV for 7 years. And if that person's white, you automatically think white hero, heroes white, people are heroes when they're
Right.
white, people are white when they're
Right.
heroes. So it may not seem like a big change or a big thing, but this is such a big thing because
Such a huge deal.
it's a huge deal. Like this show alone is implementing in the minds of our younger fans that if you're Black, if you're Asian, if you are a person of color, you can also save the world. You can also don the cape. You can also be a superhero. So yeah, I'm honored to be in a show that can be this diverse, because if I weren't in a show this diverse, I would be complaining about how undiverse the show is. So it's great that I'm.
Wow. I mean, I absolutely love it. I can't sing its praises enough. Talk to us about what we can expect to see in the next episode. I think it's coming March 14th. Is there an episode coming up? Are you guys missing a week? Or
Yeah, I think we're missing this week and we're coming back
okay,
after. This
right.
episode is episode 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episode 7. What happens next week?
Give us something. Give us some tea, Cam.
I'm
Give
going
us
to
some
try to remember.
exclusive.
We do so many episodes back to back. Like my head is in episode 8 because the fans know, because I've said online quite a few times that the favorite scene that I've shot this week, I'm sorry, this season, is in episode 8 or
Okay.
episode 8 of season 2. I love that scene. That episode's also just dope. So episode 7, I'm trying to remember what happens in it, and I don't. I'm sorry,
Okay.
y'all.
I mean,
I
we
have
just
so many
have to
episodes in
tune
my
in.
head. But it's
Yes,
dope. I promise that it's dope.
we definitely know that it's dope. I have to ask you, given that you are a filmmaker, you have a short already out that I'm going to talk about next, and you said you're in the middle of doing another. Will you direct or go behind the camera for any scenes this season, or maybe in a season 3 possibly? For
Yeah,
that?
I plan to. It really depends on timing and scheduling and all.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice because since my short films have been out and have been seen, at least one, but the first one has, the fans have been asking about if I'm going to direct, and even the crew members of the show have been asking if I'm going to direct, which is it's really exciting because it just shows that I have a support system, which is nice because directing is fairly new to me, and I've only done 1 live-action short and now 2 animated shorts. So the fact that so many people believe that I can do it is really, really awesome, and it just really inspires me to give them my all. So I do plan to figure out a way to get into that.
Who's
I
calling you, Cam?
say that again.
Who keeps calling you? I said, who's
Right, just
calling you?
these tax collectors, but yeah, I do plan to do it one day. I hope sooner rather than later, because I think the sooner that I do it, the more I can learn from it. And I also kind of think getting thrown to the wolves is how I do some of my best work, to be honest. So yeah, I would really, really like to.
Why should people be tuning into Batwoman season 2? Just the show in general. Season 1, if y'all haven't saw it, why should people be watching this show?
You should tune into Batwoman because it's such a fun show. The action is incredible, but at the end of the day, especially in season 2, we dive into some themes that are universal. We dive into some things that will make you feel seen. I mean, we dive into Black culture. We dive into police brutality, like things that you've heard, but like you haven't seen from the lens of a Black superhero, from a Black female superhero, from a Black female bi superhero. So it's there's so much to learn from a show like this because it is brand new. It has not been done before, and it is influencing a lot of people to feel safe and feel more themselves. A lot of people have told us their coming out stories because of the show, and it helps people believe that they can come out to their parents, that they can be their true self all the time. And even if you don't think that you relate to some of these stories, I feel like they go deeper than people realize. So yeah, I say watch the show because it might teach you something, and it might make you feel some compassion for others.
That's what I was going to say. Very educational. You definitely will learn from the show. And it's something you can watch with your kids also to show them representation reflected. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for talking to us about Batwoman. You guys make sure you tune in. I think everybody here is tuning in. So we're all
you better be.
Talk to us about your short film. It was inspired by the loss of your uncle or your dad's best friend. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. So, as you know, Black families, everybody in the everyone's friends are our cousins. So,
aunts and uncles, cousins.
Aunts and uncles. Yeah. So I didn't know that my dad's best friend wasn't my actual uncle until a few years ago. It's just how we live down south. My family, and also my grandpa's one of like 18 kids. So like the family is just, everyone's your cousin. You just never know. So Grab My Hand, A Letter to My Dad is an animated short film that I made for my pops. His best friend, my uncle Dwayne, passed away a couple of years ago. And I realized that I was not quite sure how to talk to him about it. I wasn't sure how to ask him if he was okay to say that I love you, you know, to talk about how sucky it is to lose your best friend. I just wasn't sure how to communicate that, because in this world, we've sort of taught Black men that being proud and being strong and hiding your emotions is the way. And because of that, I found that even though my job is to be emotionally fluid and talk to people, thanks, Aaron, I realized that with my dad, I still had a barrier up. I still didn't know how to do it. So I knew that I talk the best through art. I communicate what I'm trying to say and how I'm feeling the best through film. So I decided to make an animated short about that, sort of retelling their friendship and how beautiful it was. Because if you've seen the short, you know that my dad and my uncle would say gate check to each other every single day. And it was their way to check in and say, are you alive? Are you awake? Are you on your way to work? And that's such a special bond. That's such a special relationship that you don't see a lot of. And it was specifically between two straight Black men. So that there was something about that was like, this story, this needs to be, it needs to be, told somewhere. And what's funny is that it just needed to be like, not so much told to the masses, but it needed to be cemented so that my uncle could live on forever in a way. So when I made it for my dad. I made it for him to watch. And that was it. That was the plan. That was the end goal, was I'm going to help you grieve and tell you that I love you all in 5 minutes. And boom, I did that. Cool. And I sent it to my aunt and my cousins, and they watched it, and cool. Like, they liked it also, to the point where that the short actually inspired them to start their own foundation, which was really incredible. So if you're here listening right now, I hate to plug, but the Dwayne S. Parker One Love Foundation is a foundation that supports young people that have lost a parent. So please check out dsp1love.com and donate. Anyway.
You better plug it
you know
again. The website one more time. Say the website one more time.
dsp1love.com. Yeah, but then, so just to fast forward, basically, after I showed a couple friends, just to say I made this thing for my dad, and all 5 of them cried, I decided to put it out in the universe and see if it could help other people heal. And to my surprise, it's now been to like 55 film festivals or something.
Wow. I mean, you had no idea that it would garner the success that it had, right? You only did it for your dad, which, going back to my initial question when we started this, was about being a son and what that meant to you. That speaks volumes to, you know, the kind of son and the kind of person that you are to do this. What's next with it? I mean, where can people watch it if they have not yet seen it? Tell us, give us some more information.
Yeah, so the film Grab My Hand, A Letter to My Dad is currently on my Instagram page. It's on my Twitter page. It is on my Moon Jelly Pictures Vimeo page. I have to figure out how to do like a Moon Jelly Pictures YouTube as well. But on top of that, it's also on the CW Seeds app, which is very cool of them. The CW, willing to share with me. And I think there's somewhere else. Like it's soon going to be on an app called Drop TV, DROPP TV. And on Drop TV, people will be able to watch the film and automatically donate straight to the website, straight to the foundation. DSP.
Wow.
So that's going to be really great. I'm really, really excited about that. That should be happening sometime this month. So yeah, it's in quite a few places, and I just any way that you watch it is great. I mean, it's not about the views or anything.
It's so good, Cam.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No, seriously, it's so good.
Thank you so much.
What is your hope when people watch this? I know how I felt. What do you hope people that will watch this interview and then go and watch the short film, what do you hope they feel after they watch it?
This is my last shout out. Miss Marvel and Matt Will Post. What's up? Thanks for being here. There's a couple things that I hope that people take away from watching this film. One is I hope people realize how incredibly important it is to tell your loved ones how much you care about them, because we just don't know how long we have. We don't know. My uncle one day was calling my dad and saying gay check, and the next he just didn't wake up, and he was healthy. He was young. We don't know. And it goes both ways. Like, I both want people to realize you need to tell people how much you love them, because they need to know, and on the other side of that, you need to tell people that you love them because you don't want to not have, you don't want people to leave your life without knowing how you feel.
Right.
You don't want to have any unsaid words in your life, because it's so important to make sure that a legacy ends the way that you want it to. Mm-hmm. And it ends with love and support and all of that. And on the other side, on top of spreading love and constantly communicating with your loved ones, I also want men to realize that holding your emotions inside is not manly. And
Preach now. Tell them again, Cam.
I know we've been saying that for many years. I know we've been saying that, be the man of the house and don't cry in front of your kids. No, dog, listen. Hey, we got to cry too. We get sad just like everybody else.
Right.
And we love people just as much as everybody else. So passion is for everyone. And if you feel passionate about something or about someone, don't hide it, show it, prove it. Right. It's fine. It doesn't make you any less manly. I think it makes you more of a man. Right. Because you are now comfortable in your own skin to the point where you will show people how you're feeling whenever you want, And there's, I think, and I don't want to say cowardice, because it's not your fault that you don't show your, because you've been taught that you shouldn't. But I hope this film shows that these two very manly men from the military, black, straight, large,
right.
They loved each other so much that they called each other every morning just to basically say, I love you. You alive? Okay, cool. Talk to you later. I love you. Bye. That's important. So I hope people realize that, like, love is so important. And I feel like we get so in our own zones, in our own lives, especially before COVID, that we forget that. We forget that our connection to other people is more important than whatever we have going on, because it all pushes us forward anyway.
Look, you need to write a book. Teacher class is the way I meant it. Okay, what about the one that you're working on currently, the short film that you spoke about? When can we, do you have a date or when we can expect to see that? I would love to watch that one. I know that one's going to be good.
Thank you. I cannot say anything about it I can't say anything more than what I said before, actually. I've said too much already, but what I can say is you'll be able to watch the short in a few months.
Oh, okay. Look, and come back and we're going to come back and talk about it?
That's right. We'll come back and talk. Totally down to come back and talk about it. Hey, I'm down.
I'm going to hold you to it. Cam, what else are you working on? What are you doing for fun? You're booked and busy. What are you doing for fun?
Oh, for fun. What does that mean? Let's see. So, well, my work, I have another live action short. Well, my first live action short, Blue Bison, that's been finished, and we're just waiting for it to get into festivals and whatnot. I have an animated series in development, a live action series in development, and a feature film in development. I am writing technically 3, but 2 new comic books. And for fun... Yes,
because you just gave me all of the work stuff. Because my next question was going to be, what's next? But I'm like,
okay.
He has a ton of things, but look.
For fun, I play a lot of video games. Well, not a lot, but I play video games when my work allows, when I have the free time. So I've been waiting to play a new one, and I just bought Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, almost Assassin's Creed type of vibe. And I just got this kind of sound weird, but I paid like $40 for the new Tetris game, and it is lit. It's so good. Like, it's like you know how like when you have like a Tetris thing falling down and you get to flip it 4 different directions? Yeah. Whenever you flip it, it makes a different noise that ties to the beat of the song. And there's all these colors. So I'm like playing Tetris like,
oh, wow.
Hey, And it's like so soothing. So I'm playing that as well. I have a virtual reality headset that I play also. But on top of that, in COVID, there's so many adventures that I want to go on, but I haven't been able to because of restrictions. So I have as many game nights with the cast as I can. I took the cast snowmobiling a couple weekends ago, which is really fun. We went go-karting months and months ago, which is really fun. So I try my best to just like have all my homies do fun things that we're allowed to do while we can. And then next year when COVID's away and stuff, I'll get back to like going to arcades and all that other fun stuff.
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. What's the first thing you want to do post lockdown, post quarantine, when we're officially like out and free with no mask? What do you want to do? You go to Texas, they don't have masks.
I want to travel pretty badly.
Where do you want to go, Cam?
Oh man, what do I want to travel to? You know, travel didn't really become a thing to me until a couple years ago because I had no money. So, it wasn't really an option. And also coming from like a small town in Georgia, no one really travels. Like if someone was like, "Oh, I just got back from France," we'd be like, "Oh, you're rich." Like, wow, right. France? What was that? What's it like to be rich? You know?
Right.
So it wasn't until a couple years ago that I realized how important traveling is, and also how non-expensive it can be if you hit the right routes. So anyway, places that I want to travel, I can't really pick one. I mean, I want to go to Jamaica really bad. I want to go to Japan really bad.
Oh, Japan, that sounds nice.
Yeah, Tokyo. I mean, my brother went there because my brother's in the Navy. He went there and loved it. Thailand sounds fun also. My friends from the Philippines, I love to go with him to like meet his family and party with them. I have family in Germany randomly, so I really love to meet my Germany family and see what they're like being, Black Georgian people in Germany. I love to see what it's all about. That would be great. Because again, my family's so big, I didn't know they existed until a couple of years ago. So I would just love to be like, who are you? Like, what is going on? So that would be great. Argentina, I really plan to go to soon. That's probably my first is Argentina. The empanadas are fire. So yeah, there's a couple places.
That's exciting. Cam, this was so good. This really blew my mind. You blew my expectations. I didn't think I was going to be feeling like ready to take on the world afterwards. You definitely should put a book into your rotation of things. You should teach a class. Add that into your rotation of things. You're pretty good. You're pretty good at this.
Say that. Much love. It's funny because the book thing I've heard that a couple of times. Teaching a class, I've heard a lot. I don't know what it would be about besides like
motivation.
Motivation, I guess.
Something, honey, because you just dropped some gems on us today.
I appreciate you.
Seriously. Before you go, Cam, let's do a quick rapid fire. Okay. You down?
I'm down.
Done in 60 seconds. What are you binging? What are you watching?
I just started Bridgerton. I'm on WandaVision. Bridgerton. I'm gonna brush through Bridgerton.
What can't you live without?
I cannot live without video games. I can't live without video.
Favorite meal to cook?
Favorite meal to cook is a chicken bowl with Brussels sprouts and this hot sauce and this mustard soy sauce stuff.
What would people be surprised to know about you?
Surprised to know about me that I'm so open. I have no idea.
Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Mahershala Ali, because I forgot to talk about him in Luke Cage earlier, but I met him on my first TV show, and he showed me what it's like to be an incredible, poignant, stoic lead of a show.
Who would play you in your biopic?
The youngest version. No, he's light skinned. That's fine. The youngest version of Sterling K. Brown in This Is Us.
I cannot. What brings you joy?
What brings me joy? My loved ones, my closest friends, my family, and acting.
And you brought us joy today. Cam, you have a fan in me. I love you. I love everything about what you have going on. You are an amazing son, an amazing person. Keep killing it. Keep being an inspiration to us. Thank you so much, Cam.
Thank you so much. And I love you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Where is the buzz? You said was mine.